Oh, damn it.
I'm doing good, man. I gotta right off the bat here during the opening banter TM let you guys know that I saw the Spider-Man trailer.
Wait, what?
There's a leak, and I saw it. It's on a cell phone.
Did you see the cell phone of the cell phone of the cell phone video?
I saw the cell phone video of the cell phone video. Yes.
Yeah, it's really bad, and it's like unfinished VFX in it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
They might change it completely. Who fucking knows?
Yeah. But I have seen it. Yeah.
I feel like really just behind the wheel on this one. I didn't see
it's okay.
Even the cell phone of the cell phone of the cell phone of the cell phone video of it. So.
It's a really weird. It's like someone thought they were going to skirt around getting fucking sued into the ground because they did it this way. It looks so bad.
Quick, everybody, give me your cell phones.
But it looks legit. Like, yeah, I mean, the scenes look real.
Right.
It's real.
The
Yeah.
VFX look real.
100% real. It's just not finished.
Do you want a spoiler about how it ends?
No.
I don't actually. I don't.
Wait, you watched it? What do you mean?
Yeah, but it's so grainy. I couldn't fucking tell what was going on half the time.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's gonna be a surprise for me. The only reason I brought it up is because apparently it's gonna be revealed tonight that we're recording the podcast. So we will not be. We'll be missing it by like a half an hour, boys. A half hour.
Yeah.
Well, what would be interesting is if we actually halfway through, like if we have like some news feed up and like halfway through it airs, and then we can all just and then just watch it real quick. And then
breaking news. I'll turn into some
breaking news right now.
Breaking news.
Everyone has a transatlantic accent all of a sudden. The Spider-Man trailer has finally dropped.
Send the Morse code to the forces on the front line.
Yeah, we know we're not getting the money shot. You know, this is gonna show us what the general gist of the plot, but we're not gonna get the money shot. Which for a lot of people, the money shot is all three Spider-Mans shooting web on each other's chests.
Yeah, they're all just coming.
Shoot web on my face, Daddy. I love it. I can't wait.
The way that you looked up at a non-existent, not even at the dick, but at the eyes that weren't up there either. What's the weirdest part of that to me? You made eye contact with somebody who wasn't there.
Oh, I get it. Coming.
Oh shit!
Hey, Toby, Daddy. Yeah, I'm glad that you started talking about that. I mean, I'm keeping this in the podcast one way or the other, specifically because we're openly acknowledging we're sorry. We have real lives. We don't want to risk pushing this to tomorrow because something might happen. So we're recording tonight anyway, with the knowledge that the trailer is probably dropping tonight, and we'll just have to give like Twitter thoughts or something. But yeah, you're right. Ultimately, I've been getting too excited throughout the day, and I caught myself in TCN chat. I said, I gotta calm down because they're not gonna give me that glorious money shot in the trailer. I know they're not gonna.
No, it's gonna be a shot of small hands overlooking New York City up here, but his mask is off and he's pondering. He's like brooding a little bit. I just miss him. They're just gonna reuse shit from before. That's what it's gonna be. Just some awful teaser.
And listener, you might be thinking to yourself, wait, aren't these the guys that have incessantly talked shit on how much they think this movie's going to be garbage?
Yeah.
And you would be right.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean the little nerdy child inside is not very excited to see these three men on screen together for the first time, even if the movie's shit. And also, I reserve the right to be 100% hypocrite. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I am not excited at all, but I am very, very curious. Okay. I want to see what that, you know, like the Wizard of Oz, like don't pay no mind to the man behind the curtain. I want to see like what dirty shit he's doing back there. You know what I mean? Like is he just like raw dog cranking one out, like angry at it, you know, just locking eyes with his dick, or is he maybe, I don't know, just, you know, just eating a jelly glaze, you know, double dipping that bitch.
Yeah, maybe he's actually pretty chill back there. You don't know. Maybe he's coming on his own face though. That's also a possibility. We don't know.
Yeah. He's just feverishly cranking one out to Tub Girl videos, you know. we all saw the stills. We all saw the stills, which means there has to be a video somewhere, right?
I always make it like 13 months without thinking about Tub Girl, and then somebody says it. I'm like cursed with it for 20 fucking years. Jesus Christ.
There was this. You're gonna see how this matches up in a second, I promise you. But let me start off by saying there was an episode of Hey Arnold.
Please continue.
Yeah. promise you, it's probably not that funny. But there was an episode of Hey Arnold I'll never forget because some kid in my elementary school used to repeat, "Stoop kid's afraid to leave his stoop all the time."
Yeah.
Have you seen that? There was a stoop kid's afraid to leave.
Yeah.
And it turned out it was the reason he was there, and it was super sad. Like everything else in that show.
Yeah, his parents left him on that stoop and he just grew up there.
Yeah. Horrible.
And CPS never stepped in for a second.
Do you remember, and I'm sorry, because I barely remember any supporting characters' names, but there's the Vietnamese man, I forget his name, and they show the backstory of him leaving his daughter with American soldiers?
Yes.
That was the fucking worst.
Why do I not remember any of this about Hey Arnold?
I remember the episode. Why are you doing this to me? You want to talk about Seymour from Futurama 2, bro? Let's get into it.
I'm very sorry.
I thought we were talking about Tub Girl, man. Can we get back to that?
The whole point.
Yeah.
The
Where's that
only
viscous
reason,
diarrhea connection?
the only reason that I remember that is because of the phrase "stoop kid's afraid to leave a stoop." Every time I hear Tub Girl, it just does the same thing to me.
Tub Girl's about to drink her poop. Tub Girl's about to drink her poop.
What do you think Tub Girl's diet's like?
Episode title?
I fucking hope not. Oh my god. I would say that she only drinks I would say chocolate silk almond milk, you know? That's what's going in the front and the back. She's always getting a colonic. Like it's always just
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
As much as she drinks, she also pumps hot water into her butthole.
Just to get the force behind it.
Yeah, that wasn't an accident. There's no way that just happened. You know what I mean?
No. She ate nothing but hot sauce for 3 weeks straight.
Yeah,
and then ballooned some water up into her asshole and then just forced it out.
I apologize for making you think about Tub Girl. I should have said cake farts, right? Because we all remember. I
never watched Cake Farts because Tub Girl scarred me so bad and a couple other things that anytime someone's like, you gotta see Blue Waffle, I now know.
You don't.
The look in their eye that's like, I don't need to see that. I can tell by the way that you just said that.
No.
And I've been swerving these other ones since then.
Yeah, you dodged a giant bullet by not looking at Blue Waffle, but
unfortunately I did. Blue Waffle was the last straw.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, let me just put it this way. She might not be a Blink-182 fan, but she's definitely the enema of the state. You know what I mean? It's just...
It's a really interesting way of concealing your identity when you're posting nudes online. Just shit on your own face.
Welcome.
No, do it, please.
To the Cinema Nerd Podcast. I am Scott. I'm joined here today by Chris and Derek. And
hi.
We're just talking about the pornography that scarred you as a child, that shaped all the broken pieces of you, and that gave you all your kinks today. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're talking to you, furries, weebs, bronies. We know you got a lot of Scarlet Witch action figures and a lot of jars. And while you're filling them, we're glad you could join us for the podcast.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for taking a water break to listen.
I have waited since the fabled Lost to Time TM Zack Snyder's Justice League episode. I have waited for Scott to do the intro again, and I'm so happy that it happened today. Of all random episodes, it's episode 39. Thank you very much for the intro, Scott. How are you doing today? How's your day going?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing really good. I'm rested. I'm not feeling any of the residual effects of the coof anymore.
Coof be gone.
Yeah, just been having a great week, man. Can't complain. How are you doing, Chris?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Funny you should ask. Okay.
Glad we did that.
Yeah.
Glad I asked.
I'm doing fine. It's been a long day. I'm gonna go to Wawa and gorge myself on food I shouldn't eat after this and drink some beer and mix the podcast, and I can't wait to do that because I like doing it. Derek, how are you doing today?
I'm great. I started when I sat down. There was a cup of Coke on this table, and it's gone.
Okay.
That's it. I don't know. Like, I'm genuinely. I didn't get up. Right. It's gone.
No, you've been here the whole time.
So
welcome to episode 39, the geriatric nerd.
Yeah.
We misplace our cups of Coke.
I swear I had one around here.
We went from doing key bumps in our 20s to misplacing our beverages in our 30s. Oh, hell, might have fallen.
And there's a link between those two things.
Well, some would say. Some experts might say. We have a surprising amount of video game news this week, but I'm not upset about that. I am excited to talk about each. Well, not excited about all. I mean, you know what I mean. We'll fucking get there. We have some video game news to talk about. 2 pieces of horrifying movie news / television news, streaming news. 2 trailers. That's it. Just 2 boys. And then we have 2 main topics. We were gonna have. I'm gonna tell you right now. They're Green Knight and the second episode of What If. We did discuss early on not doing the interim episodes of What If and kind of like doing the initial thoughts and then like a conversation about it at the end. However, our second topic that we were going to talk about this week didn't work out, so that's filler. But I actually am happy about that because I know how Derek feels about this episode already, and I know how I feel about it, and we'll get there. But first up on the docket is some news about Battlefield 2042, which we're all pretty excited about still. I think it's in the bully repertoire for Madcap Gaming. I don't know what that means, but it felt good coming out of my mouth. There's been discussions about something called. I feel like I'm on coke right now. I don't know. I feel like weirdly energized. There's been discussions about the specialized mode coming to Battlefield 2042 that has not been in the other games, called Hazard Mode, and they've been teasing it and stuff like that. And the closed beta has been out. They're not technically supposed to release footage to the public, but, well, you know, the internet. People have data mined some information. Yeah, you know how they are, those rascals. People have data mined some information, and this mode seems to be what they're describing as a cross between Escape from Tarkov and Hunt Showdown. And I have to tell you, that makes me very excited because the bulls in front of you have been playing Hunt Showdown and enjoying it very much. And Scott, how does this news tickle you? Are you very happy about this?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it could be really interesting. Like reading about how they're going to have, it's going to be more in the vein of Hunt. I feel like it's going to have AI bosses. You know, it's going to have a very heavy focus on PvE, which is, I think, the best part of games like that. Right? Like we all like PvP, but there's nothing more frustrating than dropping into a match and getting insta-killed or dropping into a match and seeing nobody, having nothing to interact with for 20 minutes at a time. That's why I can't stomach BRs for more than a month at a time before I lose my shit. And the first encounter you get into, 17 minutes in the match, you're sniped before you even see anybody. You know, like they've just been camping on top of a building for the entire fucking match. Games like Hunt change up the dynamic because there is no like safe zone. You know what I mean? Like the walls aren't closing in on you. There's no storm. There is no whatever the fuck you want to call it. You have free run on the map. So it doesn't put pressure on you and back you into corners where the other team can have the upper hand just based on positioning alone. You know, it really comes down to how smart you can play, how accurate you are with your shots, because every shot counts in games like that. I think it's gonna be really exciting to see it with a game like Battlefield where you have so much more leeway. You know what I mean? It's gonna be way more action packed. Hunt is great, but even at its best, it is very slow. And that game type, that mechanic in a game like Battlefield, I think it's gonna be a slam dunk, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was coming at it from. I mean, they literally discuss, PvE incidents dotted around the map, like AI soldiers patrolling who can call in reinforcements. There might be AI bosses. Yeah. So I'm thinking like mini Division 2 type encounters within a map where there's other people. Yeah. Derek, I know you're excited about it. Why don't you describe exactly how excited?
Just in what specific way I'm excited about it.
Yeah, with Henry Cavill. Right.
Like the Witcher might. It's I don't
like the Witcher might.
Like the Witcher might do. He might do it.
Look at the fun. It's I don't know anything about Escape from Tarkov's. I don't know anything about that game.
Pauls. Would you like me to tell you?
Please tell me with your mouth.
So it's a really simple concept. It's a big open world. There's no safe zone, but you get dropped in at there's extraction points like Hunt.
Okay.
You go in with the loadout that you've purchased. There are AI scavengers are called, those other people. You go in literally to find good loot, to get some objectives done, and then you extract with that stuff, or you get murdered and lose it.
Okay.
That's kind of
it's the same thing as Hunt, basically, but you lose everything, not just your character.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like Division as well, a little bit. But what was it called? Dark Zone or whatever? Yeah. So I'm not familiar with that. I'm just getting into Hunt, and I will agree right out of the gate that it is a little slow, but I'm happy to see. First of all, it's a lot of fun, and I realized that when I stopped playing it, like I was playing like Titanfall or something, it gets a lot more fun. You have to really like stop, hole up, look around, listen, pay attention to what's happening and then make your next move, like we did in the one match where you just demolished. I don't know if you put that up on the YouTube yet, but
I haven't. I think I still need to get video from one of you. I think.
It might be me.
Yeah. But
let me know who, and I'll put it up.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But I'm gonna edit the fucking from all three of our perspectives, starting with the first down and what happened henceforth.
Yeah,
that was incredible. But anyway, I'm just excited to see like the next evolution of like online multiplayer versus. I'm tired. Like I never really got into battle royale, so I can't say I'm tired of it. I've always loved arena shooters, but like I see why we're getting away from arena shooters. It's like, how long can you make the same game again and again, reskinned with like slightly different mechanics? And Hunt is cool. Like it's a very fucking cool concept. It is slow, so like to see again, like you said, in sort of the like through the lens of a fast-paced game like Battlefield, that could be really fucking cool. So yeah, thumbs all the way up my ball sack on this one.
Well, the thing is, it's also a perfect marriage of three different variants of common FPSs, right? You have essentially you could call it either team deathmatch or you can call it battle royale mode, where you have all these teams going against each other. But then also once you down the PvE boss, you have King of the Hill. You have to keep this area secure long enough to extract these bounties, and then on your way out, it's sabotage. You're trying to get the case to plant the bomb, because you literally have to get the bounty you have to an extraction point and then hold it up for 30 seconds without anyone interrupting it or killing you. So it's
sabotage.
Yeah,
sorry, that's all I could hear in my head. That's the whole time you said that.
It's okay.
And everybody keep in mind one very important point. Hazard mode is the one that they are saying is likely going to be free to play, because they're going to have a free to play mode for this too. So there could be a really good audience for this. I'm very excited. I've always liked the shooting mechanics and the gameplay in Battlefield more than other FPSs. It's really the only one that's called me back time and again over the years.
Yeah.
And I don't know much more we can say about it, but I'm pretty stoked. I think it's going to be really fun. If they do design this mode as this article portrays it, I think it's going to be a pretty big success for them.
Oh, and there's a beta next month. I read at the bottom of this article. I had no idea. That's incredibly exciting.
Yeah, we're gonna do lots of shoosting, boys.
We're gonna do some shoosting.
Lots of shoosting.
Lots of the shoosting. We're gonna shoost.
We're gonna shoost.
Gonna shoost
a bad guy. Yeah.
It just says open beta in September. It doesn't say when, but keep in mind the whole enchilada drops October 22nd. We keep inching closer and closer to this threshold where there's, dare I say,
inching close.
No way home. Fuck Scott. I tried to, the softest. Inching it closer. Okay. Keeping in the vein of video game news, this one shouldn't be surprising. Remember when Fortnite first came out, right after PUBG released? Well, sorry, not right after, about 6 months after. After PUBG had used...
Well, Fortnite originally was just a single-player campaign that was focused on building.
Right.
Yeah.
And keep this in mind. Fortnite, the original game, was in development for about 6 years. It was one of those development monsters that people were waiting, and they were like, this is never going to come out. It's going to be ridiculous. They finally released it. It had a pretty middling reception. I remember I played the original mode.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, this feels like a hodgepodge of ideas. Fast forward about 6-7 months, PUBG's been out. They used the Unreal Engine from Epic to make it, and all of a sudden... crazy success for PUBG, even though it was a janky mess, which it still is to this day.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Epic comes out with a battle royale game that's strikingly similar, with a few caveats, in this other game, and that's where they just skyrocketed and went from there. So, following in the vein of Epic steal shit, Fortnite is introducing a new mode. It's called Imposters, where there will be 10 people, 8 agents and 2 imposters. You stop doing the hands. That's what keeps fucking me up. I keep seeing the fucking hands.
Every time he does it, I do it. He does it so much, though.
There's going to be 10 players, 8 agents. 2 of them are 10 players, 8 agents, 2 imposters. Guess what that sounds like? What does that sound like to you guys?
It's the same fucking thing. But I mean, like, but let's be realistic here. Among Us is a copycat of a copycat, right? Like, there's been a lot of other games that have done this. There's been games that have copied Among Us since it kind of like broke off and blew up a little bit. I think the issue is that the people from Among Us were actually actively trying to work with Fortnite and trying to reach out in this case, and how little Fortnite changed up its terminology. It's the level design is literally almost a carbon copy where they switched up like the order of rooms, but it had all the same fucking shit as one map in Among Us. And I don't know the name of the map, but I don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking. People have to go around doing tasks. There are 2 people trying to sabotage. I mean, it's the same thing. The maps are identical. It's kind of gross. I mean, also though, can you copyright mechanics? Like,
that's what I was going to say. Like,
right?
Initially, my thought on it was, oh, well, you always have one game that does it right, and then all the games that come out after it are just trying to copy that or like do
Blizzard
something. Blizzard
would not
different.
have a path if that wasn't the case. That's all they ever did.
Yeah, it's like, so initially I went like, all right, I'm not going to card them against it, but then, play other games that do the same thing, like basically steal rudimentary mechanics, but like, change them in some way. But then it's like, yeah, exactly. Like, people are doing tasks. It's literally called imposters. I mean, like, you couldn't be more on the nose with how they're just like, we took your whole shit from like, what's the studio? It's like 3 people or something, and just applied it to like, it's definitely fucked up. I changed positions on it pretty quick. They really just, it's shady. It's a weird thing to do.
One of the developers from the Among Us team actually said, fine, game mechanics, yeah, sure, they shouldn't be gatekept behind something like a copyright, but at least put in the 10% additional effort to like change names and not use the same map, but just they flip. It's like they literally put a screenshot of the map up. They're like, oh, look, they just switched 2 rooms around. Yeah. Like, great. You know what I mean? It's really kind of gross. It's almost like somebody in the Fortnite office was like, oh, look, in my spare time, I made this thing. And they were like, yo, we're about to make lots of money, fam.
Send it.
It's just,
the thing is, I don't, is this mode going to cost extra money, or is it just going to be included with the game?
It's going to be included. It's free.
So the thing is, it's a blatant ripoff, right? But no one who loves Among Us and wasn't already going to play Fortnite is going to jump ship from Among Us to play it on Fortnite, right?
Yeah.
People might go for like a day or so just to see what it's like to see what the comparisons are, and then maybe to shit on it, right? Because like that's retroactive. That's the only reason I can imagine myself playing Fortnite. You know what I mean? Is to shit on it for what it's blatantly doing right here. I don't know, man. It's.
Yeah, I don't think you're pulling the crowd from Among Us into Fortnite, but you may be pulling people from Fortnite who would have eventually gotten into Among Us, and you know what I mean? Like, you're preventing them from leaving your game to another game style by just stealing that game's game style.
And the question is this going to be a limited mode? Is it a limited time event, or is this just part of the game now? And if that's
just a new mode, as far as I can tell, it's just a new mode. You know.
That bothers me way more than a limited event would.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, because it's come up with your own ideas, man. Like, it's just like, to a certain extent, I mean, Final Fantasy with the active time battle, right? The ATB. I mean, it's been adopted by countless other RPGs over the years. It's been, like, tinkered with here and there, but it became like a mainstay, like a staple of RPGs.
Mm-hmm.
I get that you can't bar people from using the same gameplay mechanics in that way, but like you said, it's a carbon copy. Like, with all the character models and all of the assets that Fortnite has, they could have made something really creative. They could have put an interesting spin on it, and they just chose not to.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it just looks like lazy development more than anything.
Certainly does. And speaking of bad developers, our next topic is something that I think we've been ready to bitch about. We've been ready to bitch about all week, or since we found out, which is just 3 days ago, I think. All right, I think I'm gonna say very little here because I want you guys to take the floor. I feel like I don't have the vitriol built up in me today for this.
I think we need to end on Scott because Scott definitely has the most to say on this one. I feel like that's the play.
What do we? Let me check the doc, make sure I do.
Developer 343.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah,
We found out some news. Halo Infinite even though it's been delayed for an entire year, will not be launching, with the campaign being able to be played in co-op, which is, I don't know, a staple of Halo game.
Yeah.
Halo games existed, or Forge, which is a level editor that allows people to make their own multiplayer maps. Okay, Forge is more acceptable to not have in the game at launch. It's still kind of unacceptable on the whole, just like Preparation H. And that's because you've had
Preparation
extra...
H on the whole feels good, Chris.
Oh, you're right.
This feels very, very bad.
You're right. I fucked it up. The inverse of my joke.
On the whole.
This is whatever Tub Girl was eating on the whole.
Oh, right. It's a little more acceptable, but it's not, right? Because you've had an extra fucking year. That's the point. A year. Whatever. I'm just gonna keep saying a year in more and more angry tones. So
yeah, no, but I feel like I want to hear you get at least 3 more. It's been a year, Sin. You don't have to do them all right now. You can interject at any point during Derek's commentary on mine.
I agree.
To just add them in as it's like we're doing like a mixtape and you're our hype man in the background. You're just gonna yell it's a year in place of whatever other token catchphrase you would have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm ready. Mm-hmm. Derek, how do you feel about this news about delayed features?
It's pretty much the same thing you said. It's been a year. I was trying to give one to you. All right, it's all right. I'll keep going. Initially, here are my first thoughts. The co-op campaign not launching with it was totally unacceptable. It's been a part of the franchise literally since the first one. Every single one has had it. They even got worse with that throughout. I think it was 4 was the first one. It was either 4 or 5 was the first one that you couldn't do a shared screen co-op campaign, but you could still always do co-op campaign. And the fact that it's clearly meant to be a part of the game, but it's not going to be added to it till months later is like, why didn't you spend some time and resources making sure it would be there at launch? It's so weird. With Forge, I felt the same way. I initially went, oh, well, I'm not going to card that against them too much because I don't really care about Forge. And then I even took that back because Forge is a huge part of it to a lot of people. That's what they wait for in these games. Now I'm worried. I'm just waiting for this desk pop to happen at any moment. And it's just I can't properly think about what I'm saying. So right. Either way, it should be a part of the
It's been a year!
So good. That's one.
And
that's all I have to say. That's it for me. That's it for me. This has been Big D.
God, how do you feel about this?
First and last time.
I've spent I'm gonna say at least a good solid 6 hours in the last few months arguing with Halo fanboys on Twitter. Does that mean that I may be on the spectrum? I don't know. Do I make poor choices? Definitely. One thing I've learned is you can fault the fandom, but you can't blame them. If that makes any sense. These people have been conditioned to eat up every little nugget they get. They're desperate for scraps. They've been conditioned by a steady decline in content over the last decade. Halo 4 wasn't great, right? Halo 5 was an absolute mess. And they're at the point now where this game is promising them so much, and just it's not going to deliver. And it makes you feel bad for them. But at the same time, you just want to grab them by their fucking scrawny little bearded necks. There's no mustache. It's just all down here. You just want to grab them by their fucking throats and tell them to look you in your fucking eyes. You are accountable as much as these companies are when you allow them to sell you half-finished product and you gobble it up with all the excitement of a puppy waiting for its 5 p.m. feeding. You need to be an adult. You need to spend your money wisely. This started with games like Street Fighter V. This started with Black Ops 4 having no campaign. It's all BR. And now the BR is free, but you gave them $60 for it a year ago, and they just learned that they can make more money by selling you shit you don't need for something you already have. The models are going to get worse. We're now getting multiplayer, which is free. You're getting a single player campaign. You're getting no Forge at launch. You're getting no no co-op at launch. And I can't tell you the last time I sat through a Halo game solo. Yeah. I don't think since Halo 3 have I played a Halo campaign by myself. And we're talking when Halo 3 launched. And the reason I played it by myself is I didn't have internet in my room. I didn't have an Ethernet cable long enough to plug my shit in. But as soon as I fucking could, I raced over and played it with Derek. I think me, you, and P were playing the shit out of Halo 3 for a decade, man. To say that it's not crucial, it's not an integral part of the series, is just you're lying to yourself. You're making excuses for these companies, and it not only hurts you, the consumer, who loves this brand, who loves this series, this franchise, but it hurts the industry as a whole because it lowers the bar exponentially. When you can say, we'll finish it later, here's what we have, and you pay full price for it. But now you're not paying full price for multiplayer and campaign packaged together, and co-op will come later. You're paying $70 for a single player campaign alone. That's all you're paying for here, because Forge isn't there yet, split screen co-op isn't there yet, and you're just teaching them that they can.
What's up? Continue, please.
Wait, why are they looking out from an airplane?
I thought that was a zombie face at first, and I'm not realizing it's her hair. I thought her cheek had caved in, Walking Dead style, like she'd just been sitting there rotting for a year.
I'm just gonna peek over it this whole time.
It's just
like Wilson from Home Improvement.
It lowers the bar so much for the entire industry. You're showing them what they can get away with, and it's. I understand the reasoning behind it is that the campaign is a big giant open world, not unlike that of Destiny. Again, way to harp off everything that Bungie has built and probably do it way less skillfully. But if it's not done, just wait. I'm not looking forward to this game. So to me, honestly, if it crashes and burns, will I be happy? No, not necessarily. Because they're still going to get
feel vindicated.
I'll feel vindicated as fuck. But the thing is, it's gonna do damage. We're gonna feel the waves of the damage this is gonna do as consumers for years if they get away with this. Because we already have companies like EA who have to be kept in check constantly. Do I love a lot of the stuff EA does? Yes. But if the community, if the consumers as a whole don't check every once in a while, every game they make will be pay to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. And this we're gonna see a shift. I'm sorry, I don't do a giant long run on here, but I've had this bottled up. We're gonna see a shift where, because of the fact that campaign, their primary source of income is probably going to be the BR mode, because people aren't going to drop $70 on campaign if they can't play with other people. There are people that will, but about 70% of the people polled out of 88,000 people on a poll on Twitter said they wanted them to just postpone the game until everything was ready to go. There's couples that live together that play these games. They want to play this game with their partner. They want to experience it for the first time together, co-op. There's friends who want to do the same thing, like longtime fans. I'm not counted among any of those people, but I can tell you that if this was a franchise I gave a fuck about, I'd be twice as mad as I am, because it does a disservice to your entire fan base. And it shows really that there's people out there fighting tooth and nail to defend this company that doesn't even respect its fan base enough to do right by them.
Yeah. When you first started yelling, I got scared.
I'm sorry.
A little bit.
I kind of peeled back a little bit.
Yeah.
I appreciated the intensity of it, though, and the passion.
I mean, fuck Halo, right? But but it's going the way of Call of Duty.
It's just that you got really close to your webcam, too. It's not, you didn't just raise your voice, you leaned in.
Wanted them to see me.
Yeah.
I wanted to be seen and heard.
I kept I was looking for that image to put up, and the whole time I was like,
yeah.
I kept glancing at Scott oh, he's getting closer. I'm just going to put this out there. It might be a weak contender, but episode 39, it's been a year now. I don't know. Just saying. All right, Halo news is done. Next topic is just a joy of the video game industry.
Can we have Derek take the lead on this one and give us how many Rees this actually is?
Oh, so this is about the I don't even remember the name of it. The anniversary edition of Skyrim. So this is the re-release of Skyrim.
Wow.
Yes, it is.
That's 7 Rees.
It's re for sure.
I know.
We were all thinking the same thing. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize if we offended anybody. We're not making fun of people. We're making fun of Skyrim. Okay, and Bethesda.
Todd Howard specifically, really. He's a big Riri.
Boys, does anybody know Pop Quiz? By the way, I know we're basically Marilyn Manson who removed 2 ribs and we're trying to suck our own dicks right now, but I've listened back to the last episode just today, and the part where Derek is comparing the kids dying. So good. Such good black comedy. Anyway, do either of you boys Pop Quiz know when Skyrim came out?
November 11th, 2011.
Yeah.
Wow, shit. Yeah, I was going to say 2011.
11.
My man has the fucking day.
I mean, obviously we know the year because it's the 10-year fucking anniversary.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I just to hear someone say that, like, this game came out November, like, it's not an MMO. It's got, I don't know. I don't have much to say about this besides A, I'm not surprised, and B,
it's a bit bolsterous though, isn't it? To celebrate your 10-year anniversary of the game with your 7th release of it.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure that we didn't make this big a deal of the 10th anniversary of 9/11. You know what I mean? Like this is really you know.
I think when we put it in chat, I was like, can you imagine the implications of this? Like, somebody somewhere, some developer, they went to college or online classes for video game design, and then went out looking for a job with real high hopes and ambitions and a great can-do attitude, and they got hired at Bethesda, and they said, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Todd Howard, questionable director, but they're known for some really popular franchises over the years, and I can't wait to make some new content. And they sat down their first day, and the guy said, okay, I want you to work on fishing content for Skyrim. And he, to just see the joy drain from that young buck's face is something I wish I could capture. Chef's kiss, it would be so satisfying to watch that disappointment.
I feel like 90% of the improvements that have come to Skyrim over the last 10 years have been mods that they just repurposed and hard-coded into their game.
Yeah, basically.
100%.
Yeah, so like, I don't know. It's just, dude.
I read an article that said it was like, actually, the fishing in the Skyrim Anniversary Edition makes it totally worth it. And I'm like, I could just picture Todd Howard with the fucking Groucho Marx, like, glasses and nose and mustache. Like, no, I really loved it. The game is totally worth it.
Yeah, sometimes you fish up some non-root. It's pretty great. It's like, fuck. Like, no, like my thing is I'm guilty. I'm just as guilty as the Halo fanboys. I just unzipped my pants and took a shit on because I bought Skyrim in VR recently, guys. In my defense, it was $10 on Steam.
That's fine.
But I also I've owned Skyrim on PS3, Xbox 360, PS4, Xbox One, and now I've bought it 5 fucking times. It's insane.
Yeah,
and we keep asking ourselves why they're doing this.
I mean, they're doing it. They're doing it because I mean, like, it makes sense to a certain extent, right? Like, I always want to have Skyrim. I didn't own multiple copies at one time, but as like over the course of 10 years, sometimes you get bored with the console and you're like, fuck this, you trade it in. Like, well, I still want to play Skyrim, so I'll get that on PS4. And it's just like I like that it's readily available on new platforms. I do like that, but we're at the point now where you can just give us a digital upgrade like you did on Steam, right? Like, for everybody, everyone's bought this game 1,000 fucking times.
Do you think when someone face fucks Todd Howard, instead of saying gat, 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 he says plat, plat, plat?
Oh, God.
Excuse me?
Holy shit.
Plat, plat, plat. Gotta get about to these new You said plat, 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 like new platforms, and that's all I could think of. Yeah, that's my mind. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
Because that's my mind.
Plat, plat, plat.
I often find my mind wanders to Todd Howard being face fucked.
In the late hours of the evening, I too find myself. My mind drifts to Todd Howard being face fucked.
I started laughing.
The words he might cry out. As opposed to gat, 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 plat, plat, plat.
Clipping that one for the YouTube. Holy shit.
I'm bringing the Morgan Freeman back like every 3 episodes at least. I'm not going to do it. That's 2 weeks in a row, right? I can't overdo it.
Oh, my God. Chris seems to be having trouble. Thoughts as well. When he cups his nose like so, you can tell. The glass is already removed, the tears are welling in the corners of his eyes.
Quoth the raven. Plat, plat, plat.
Oh no.
Okay. All right, I'm back. I blacked out.
Oh man, I think we're moving on, right?
Yeah, we're good. We're not going to wring any more gold out of that mine. I'm not going to look. I have no stake in the next piece of news besides the fact that the stills look bad to me. I'd never watched the original. I've been told I should. I've been told it's a staple of the genre. And because of that, I'm going to let one of you two start. It's up to you who does it. But we got a first look today at the live action Cowboy Bebop that's going to Netflix. Yeah, that's all I really have to say to preface the coming storm. So whoever would like to go,
I'm going to go. I'm going to tell you this is
out the gate.
Right out of the gate. I have talked shit on this from the moment it was announced. It's just I'm not even going to dip into the normal shit I dip into, which is that you don't need to transfer mediums. Like, just because something is good in one medium, you don't need to always fucking put it into another one. Doesn't always work, especially Netflix adaptations of animations. We've already covered that kind of shit a million times. The fact of the matter is, this looks fucking stupid. These are the worst. This looks like a college art project or something, like a senior year. Like, it's so fucking bad. And I'm telling you right now, this is like the one time that I'm doing this. I have said from the moment they announced this that I will not watch this movie. And I not for this podcast, not for any fucking reason, I will not watch this movie. It's going to be fucking terrible. I'm looking at them right now. I told myself, I looked at them one time earlier and I went, that's the only time I'm ever going to look at these again because it broke my heart. I have them up again and it just hurts. It's just terrible. I will say this though, Chris, people who don't like anime like Cowboy Bebop. And if you watch
I've been told several times that, like, if I watch anything,
it's the best anime ever made.
It's excellent. And it's only like 24 episodes and they're only 20 minutes. So it's not like it eats up your whole life or anything. But it's a great story, great animation, great music, great characters, great everything.
Yeah,
there's no need to touch it. The VA's amazing. There was no reason to ever touch it. But again, not even touching on any of that. This just looks fucking bad. And I've seen so many people online today say things that are like, I'm still not sure how to feel about this. Or even people saying, hey, this looks good. I don't even know how to make fun of these people. I don't even know where to start. I don't know what could possibly be happening to you that you could look at this and think anything other than just yuck. Not good.
I was going to bring it up. So before Scott says his piece, I mean, knowing nothing about, I mean, I know the premise. I know it's a space bounty hunter Western type shit. I know the very, very lightest touch of what's going on in the story. But I like John Cho, and I would watch him in almost anything. I'm not saying I'm going to watch it, but I like him as an actor.
Yeah.
And I saw someone today. They were like, "Oh, well, the original composer from the series is coming back to the show," and like, "Hey, the stills look okay. Maybe this won't be that bad." And I was like, "The stills don't look okay.
They don't.
No,
they don't look okay to me." And I like John. I'm sorry. I think John Cho looks okay.
Let's dive into why these stills don't look okay though. They're trying to emulate the color palette of an anime in live action. And also give it a darker, more serious tone, and that doesn't fucking work. Totally, these outfits look ridiculous.
They look so ridiculous.
They do.
Like they just left Comic-Con or something. They're well done Comic-Con.
It looks like somebody is cosplaying. Yeah, like it's. And I'm sorry, but I also don't agree on the casting.
Yeah.
Mostly just because Faye needs big old honkers. I'm sorry. I know that's the worst thing I could possibly say.
Well, but yeah, it's pretty bad, but it's funny.
They announced like a year ago, like, I don't even know how much I should dip into this. They announced a year ago that they were covering Faye up, and in the anime, her tits are hanging out the whole time. And the thing is, like, I get that we live in a different, like, climate now than we did then, and you have to do things a little differently. But, like, Faye Valentine's entire, without spoiling anything for Chris, her entire, like, crux of her whole arc is that she is a sexualized person by everyone she sees, even though she's way more than that on the inside. It's the whole
badass
point. People look at her and just see a pair of tits, even though she's this incredibly, like, deep character. So the fact that they go, well, we're just gonna, put her in a turtleneck for the whole movie is like, all right, but that kind of like defeats the whole. I don't know. We'll see. Well, we won't see because, like I said, I'm not watching this. I just refuse. There's just no way in my mind that I'm gonna watch this and even feel like, oh, that was okay. Like it people will say this thing that kind of irks me. Oh, well, just because they made a remake, it doesn't take away from the original. Yeah, it kind of does, honestly, because now every time, if I watch this and I truly hate it, every time I go back and watch the show, I'm going to think of that one part from the movie, and it's just going to make me like, ugh.
Bad news, Derek. Bad news. It's a show, and they're doing 10 episodes.
Oh, no.
And they're already re-upping for season 2, potentially, before this even drops.
I thought it was a movie.
No, this is a 10-part series. It's going to be really
Sorry. Bad. So here's the thing. If it comes out and it gets good reviews, I'll watch it for you. And I'll tell you, because I'm gonna watch the original before this comes out. You have my solemn pledge.
All right. No, I'm feeling this a little more.
Can we make it a bargain here, or make a pact that if me and Chris watch the mandatory 2 episodes and it's garbage, instead of reviewing the new Cowboy Bebop, we just review the old Cowboy Bebop.
I was actually going to say, now that I know it's a show, Mando 2-episode rule is fine with me. I mean, if 2 episodes, that it's just 2 episodes. It's the beginning of the fucking show. I can do that. That's fine. I thought it was a movie. I thought it was like a feature length type thing that just covered the whole series. But I could do the 2-episode rule on it. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I will watch all of Cowboy Bebop. This comes out November 19th. I got plenty of time. I'll probably start tonight, honestly, because I probably start putting it on while I edit the audio. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't look good to any of us, and I can't, even from a completely outsider perspective, I don't know where people are coming from on the internet either. All I can say, God damn it, Scott. All I can say is, while you were talking, Derek, I was suppressing laughter because, in a throwback to the joke that we just did, I heard, quoth the Raven, Faye needs big old honkers in my head, and that was what kept me. I was suppressing laughter to it.
I mean, but I know how bad that sounds, but I still stand by it. Fuck you. They're going above and beyond to emulate everything about the original, even in places where it doesn't make sense at all. And then they're just going to virtue signal out the actual look of the character. Like it's dumb to me. Like it's
once you see
a better message would be to have her be a sexualized person, and then, like Derek said, show the complexity, show the nuance, show what kind of person she is. Like if you haven't seen Cowboy Bebop, it's easy to look at stills of the animation and just be the guy who's cranking out to Rule 34
and just fap to it.
Yeah,
exactly.
But every character on that show is so well written and so like beloved by the fan base. Like there's a reason why this thing was made in 1998, and people don't shut the fuck up about today.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
and
there's
that's
a reason.
The whole point. Even when Faye shows up in the show after like whatever it is, 2 or 3 episodes, you're just like, this chick's hot, whatever. And then once you get to like little pieces of her personality, you go like, oh, she's more than just like the tits of the group. So you kind of fell victim to the same thing that like the characters in the show did to her. You know what I mean? Like it's done in a really, really smart way. I don't want to give too much away, especially because you said you're going to watch it tonight, but it's just like when you see her full backstory, you're going to see what I'm talking about. And it's just a goofy decision to me. I hate to sound like a fucking knuckle duster on Twitter who's like, well, like a Lola Bunny big titty defender or something. But it's like, this is one case where it's just like, it was just a bad call to me.
I don't even care if it makes me sound like I'm a fucking weeby incel piece of shit. It's just, it's iconic imagery. Like all of her outfits from the show are iconic in the same way that Spike doing a spin kick to Jazz is iconic in the show. This like same way that this see you later, catch you later, Space Cowboy sign off is an iconic part of the show. These are all bits and pieces that make up the larger. You know what I mean? Like it's.
God, I'm gonna rewatch it too. After you said all that, I'm like, I gotta watch this show again.
I love when you talk about something very passionate and you get like Derek gets like stoked to do it again. It's very fun for me. Look, having no stake in the matter, I will test your claims as to whether or not I think it looks gratuitous in the show. I mean, I'm sure it is a little gratuitous. It's 1998. But whether or not it's just gratuitous or if it builds into her character. But I will just say, Scott, we're a pretty liberal I'm pretty sure we wear this on our sleeve. We're a pretty liberal podcast. We tend to defend those groups. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with you saying you want to see big honking titties. Yeah. You're a single man. You love titties. That's perfectly okay.
No, I'm not single. I still love titties.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Well, it's more so like...
If there be a man amongst us who does not love big honking titties...
Let it be known.
Yes. Let him make himself known. Getting some Green Knight vibes here, huh? Really seamless transition almost. Just too early.
Yeah. Quoth the Raven. I'm gonna say that from now on. All right, we have one more piece of weird rando movie news that also has to do with Netflix, which is why I put them together. And then we have 2 trailers. So I don't know. I have a pretty big soft spot in my heart for 80s and 90s action movies and comedy action movies. And this is one of the franchises that I liked a whole lot. It didn't make it wasn't Lethal Weapon type huge fucking Scott.
I'm sorry, but if he
it's okay. I saw him do it too.
If he turns the right way and it's the GIF in the background, it still looks like Scott. See, look, he's doing it now.
It's got fucking. It looks like I have no arm. Like I have hands on my elbows. Are supposed to be.
Sorry, listeners at home. We're doing visual bits today a lot, you know? Well, you'll have to catch the...
I mean, bits, they're not plural. I'm just doing the same one again and again and again. But I know if I do it at a time where like, I'm going to catch you off guard, it's going to get you. So I just keep doing it.
I was going to say something, but I think you would legitimately take it as an insult, and I didn't mean it that way.
Now you have to say it.
Yeah. It's the same reason Dane Cook was funny.
Okay.
He would do that, though.
Right, well, no, it's okay. Fuck you, Chris. Moving on.
I didn't mean it like that. Anyway, so I have a soft spot in my heart for this franchise. It's Beverly Hills Cop. I don't want to bury the lead. Axel Foley was Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2, I think, are fantastic. 3 suffers from the same, you're doing the same shit again shtick to me, but they're making another one. So in light of Hollywood beating yet another franchise into the fucking dirt, and I always come back to what Derek says, which is that the new stuff shouldn't affect the old, which you just said about Bebop. And you have warned me. You have won me over to that train of thought. Where if this is shit, then it's gonna diminish the original films for me. And look, they're action comedies. We're not talking highbrow art to diminish. However, I don't know. I really liked these movies. I thought they were hilarious. So the whole gist is Paramount sold Beverly Hills Cop to Netflix. Eddie Murphy's coming back as Axel Foley. And this article was that they're going to be filming relatively soon. There was a press release in California about the spending they were doing in the area. Production is going to take 58 days, blah, blah, blah. They'll actually be shooting on-prem in Beverly Hills. I had no idea this was happening. It caught me completely off guard. And the only reason I put it in the doc was to just say that I have a fondness for those movies and I don't want them to murder it. And that's... Yeah. You guys might have nothing to say. It's totally fine, but I just wanted to talk about it. I don't,
but that's your Cowboy Bebop, and I respect that.
I wouldn't call it my Cowboy Bebop. That's not... I mean, we're talking about Axel Foley and the Beverly Hills Cop here, not...
Too late. It's your Cowboy Bebop. I said it already.
God damn it. It's canon now. It's your Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, sure. Why not? You know, if there's one thing that the last 10 years have taught us is that a 20-year sequel is always a good idea, right? Independence Day Resurgence, Super Troopers 2, Anchorman 2, Coming to America. What else am I missing?
Coming to America was not that bad.
Yeah, it wasn't
that great, but it wasn't like, oh my god, you piece of shit, why'd you do this?
But when you said Anchorman 2, that like physically hurt me because I was one of the people
Anchorman 2 can
really wanted that to be a good movie, and it just did
we
not
all
deliver.
wanted it to be good.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of what other 20-year sequels have been that have been atrocious. There's a bunch of them, I'm sure. But it's just, you know, it's fine. Leave it alone, right? Like, dude, just
Terminator Genesis. Sorry, Terminator Genesis.
Yeah, every Terminator after 2, right? Just leave it alone, man.
There's a quote from Pet Sematary that I would like Scott to recite because I think he does it very well.
Sometimes dead is better.
Thank you. Thank you. We've been talking about a lot. I mean, it's not super jokey, but that could be the episode title. We've been talking a lot about things that should not be revived. Sometimes dead is better. Just throwing it out there for contenders.
Could be the theme here.
behind the scenes listeners, whenever we don't do that throughout the episode, we struggle afterwards.
I kind of wish we could make the title very, very, very long. I often find on the dark, cold nights that my mind too wanders to
As
Todd
my
Howard.
mind wanders to Todd Howard. And what it is he is not choking on.
Yeah, if we named it Todd Howard Face Fucked, I'd be okay with that.
Okay. Not bad. Todd Howard, write it down as a contender.
Yeah.
I'll bleep we've already bleeped the word fuck in our title before, so it's not out of.
Todd Howard, multi-plat, plat.
Yeah. The Todd Howard
God.
gag reflex experience.
Oh, I hate that. It sounds like a band name.
It really does. They opened for the Dillinger escape plan. It wasn't good.
All right, you just solidified it. That's the fucking title. The Todd Howard gag reflex experience.
We'll put that up. We'll put that in for contention. It's okay. We'll keep it going.
Okay. We'll see what else comes of this. All right, we're moving on to our trailers. Would you like to pee break now or later, or do you not have to?
I feel like I'm gonna go for no. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna go for no.
Hey, ooh. All right, so I'm not going to shill yet. I'll shill before we talk about Green Knight. We have two trailers to talk about. One is the final trailer for the Eternals. We got a couple Marvel properties coming up here right in a row. Shang-Chi. I don't think we ever got final word on that.
Shang.
Actually comes out next Friday, which I don't know when we're going to get to see it, because as far as I know, it's only theaters. There's no Disney Plus, but we'll see it as soon as we can and talk about it. Early reviews are coming in, by the way, nothing to do with this trailer, and they seem to be pretty positive overall. So I'm excited. I heard that the villain, guy who plays Wenwu, one of the better MCU villains, which is it's not a high bar.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It sounds good. This is the Eternals, which comes out 2 months after, November 5th. It's the final trailer. I think we've all been pretty meh on the idea, and that's like probably a gracious way of saying it, to be honest. And just to give my initial thoughts, this trailer does nothing for me to allay that. In fact, it makes it worse. And here's why. We talked about this last time, that this movie was going to have to make some stupid fucking reason for why they didn't help. Because anything where you have beings of this magnitude introduced, like post-snap, who have been around forever, you have to make the excuse TM. And they do it right in the trailer. They didn't even want to wait till the fucking movie. They were like, yeah, we just weren't supposed to because there's no deviants involved.
Yeah, they just wanted to rip the stupid Band-Aid off our forehead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can drag their dick across. Yeah, just Roman helmet the entire fan base. Yeah.
One, this is sexist, and I apologize, but I can't. Selma Hayek is still a choice.
Looking
lady
great.
at her
Looking
age.
wonderful.
Looking fantastic.
Yeah. Way to go, Selma.
Yeah, I mean, good for you.
I feel like you don't have to preface that with saying that it's sexist, because we also comment on how hot older dudes are all the time.
Yeah.
That's true.
Constantly. Like relentlessly. Like to the point where people
we probably actually compliment dudes way more than we do
like
women.
to the point where your wives and girlfriends should be concerned about whether you're gonna run off with George Clooney. You know what I mean?
I mean, if I had the option, I would. I would leave this family behind. That dude has money. Are you kidding?
They should be concerned, Scott.
Just run behind you.
No, God, I would never say that if she was in earshot.
Hi, Ron. Thanks for listening.
No, but you're good. Yeah, that's why I'm doubling, tripling down on the face, big honking anime titties thing. Fuck you, fan base.
Yeah,
Fuck
so
you, listeners.
They give us the gist of, I guess, the general thrust of the storyline here is like, when the snap happened and everyone came back, there was some big surge of power, and it started some big MacGuffin called the Emergence or some shit that they have 7 days to. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. And the deviants look stupid and generic. If that is what they are, they just look like critters.
Well, deviants are supposed to be like the Celestials, like
arch enemies. Yeah, like
they were created at the beginning of time by the Celestials in canon before the Inhumans were made. The Inhumans were made to battle them once they got out of control. But also, aren't the deviants like the root of the mutant genome throughout all of history?
Yep.
So this could be our introduction to mutants in the MCU.
Could be. We'll see. I don't know. There's some interesting lore. implications for the movie, but I still it's not doing anything for me. I don't care about these characters. I don't. All their costumes look generic.
They look so bad, dude. And even it just looks dry and boring. It looks like Dune, but worse somehow. And that movie looks so bad. Like everything's just brown and gray and grim. Like there's just no life to anything. I don't know. I think it looks terrible. I don't know what else to say. This trailer didn't do anything more for me than the first one did. Or I don't know if there was more than that. The only other one I watched, it's just, I don't know. This is going to have to be when it comes out on DVD for me. This just does not look worth DVD, right. It doesn't look like it's worth the theater seats price nowadays.
Yeah.
It looks like Dune, but worse is probably the meanest thing I've ever heard you say about a movie.
And I feel that. By the way, I have to fuck TCN myself. I was going to say, and I mentioned 130,000 kids dying last week. It's actually 155,000 kids.
Yeah, take that, kids.
So Jenny McCarthy has been directly responsible for 150,000 kids dying. There's a website called JennyMcCarthyDeathCount.org. Not a joke. Oh my
god.
Not a joke.
Oh my god.
Count. Is it .com or .org?
It better be .org because that's what you told me. It's not .org. You lied to me. I can't even find it. Sorry, listeners. We're on
Jenny McCarthy body count.
Bodycount.com. Sorry.
Yeah.
152,763 children's deaths.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. So I undercut that. Sorry about that, Jenny.
Sorry, but didn't want to hurt your numbers there.
Didn't want to misrepresent your kill count there. Yeah.
This is from 2007 to 2015. Yeah, holy shit. Looks like they might have gotten shot. They might have gotten shut down, or maybe this person.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize that. It does only go to fucking 2015.
Jenny McCarthy got him.
Oh no.
It's 152,764 now, at least, sounds like.
Yeah, she snuck in and gave him a flu shot while he was sleeping and he got brain damage.
Oh, no.
Is that not what she believes happens, right?
Did she sick Donnie Wahlberg on him?
Got Don on him.
Giant meaty gorilla hands.
All right. Look, I don't have anything else to say about this trailer.
I feel like when Donnie Wahlberg walked her down the aisle, the Phil Collins Tarzan song played, like the "I'll be in your heart" with his giant fucking monkey's paw hands.
I think he dragged her down, but like not intentionally. He didn't. He just thought they were holding hands, but it was it's like Wreck-It Ralph, you know, like he has that kind of build.
I was actually hoping for like the Tarzan boy song to actually play, like oh, you know.
Oh yeah. I know that one. I don't know what the fuck it's called. It's just the whoa song.
It's called Tarzan Boy.
That's
either the song is called Tarzan Boy or the band is called Tarzan Boy. One of the two. Just Google that shit.
That's a terrible name. That's a terrible name for a song.
Tarzan. Yeah. The band is called Baltimora, and the song is called Tarzan Boy.
Okay.
Both of you guys. I'm not kidding. I used to play that.
That song's been around way before the Tarzan anime movie, though. Because I'm pretty sure that was in Jungle to Jungle with Mimi Siku back in the day.
I'm gonna tell you.
With Tim Allen.
Shit, it was.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a weird fact about that song that neither of you asked for, and you're getting it right now.
Give it to me.
The lead singer did not sing that song on the record. The keyboard player did. But the lead singer has to just mime as if he's doing it, taking all the credit for it.
Wow, what a piece of shit.
Yeah, what a bag of dicks.
I knew a guy named Tommy who used to pretend to play keyboard live even though it wasn't plugged in because he was really embarrassed that he was just backup vocals. He would pretend to play piano along the backing track.
And people just...
Ouch.
Oh, that hurts to hear.
During soundcheck once, he was like,
seeing it.
During soundcheck once, he was like, it's not loud enough. And like my drummer at the time picked up the cord. He's like, it's not plugged in, silly. It's like fucking wait for the cord that wasn't plugged in.
Oh no! Yeah, that's fucking hilarious though.
The guy was
it's
a
not
piece
plugged
of shit,
in.
though.
You're not good at much.
Yeah.
All right, we got two bad trailers this week. I'm not going to bury the lead. There's a Frogger show coming out, and you might be thinking to yourself, "Well, Chris, well, Derek, well, Scott, Frogger was a video game
for the inclusion."
Yeah, you're welcome. Frogger was a Vigi game.
Oh, stop!
Back
saying
in
it like
my
that.
day.
What are you doing?
What's the matter? You don't like Vigi games?
No, I don't. I do not like that.
Frogger was a Nintendo game.
Why?
Remember when your
What do you
parents
mean
called
show?
everything Nintendo?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything was Nintendo.
Yeah, it's
What
like
do
you bought it
show?
for me for Christmas. You saw that it says PlayStation 2 on it. What the fuck are you doing?
I got you a new Nintendo.
Yeah, that's
Oh, the PlayStation 2
Sad.
model? Thanks. Love it.
There's no way it's built by Nintendo. They dropped the prices of their games.
Yeah, for real.
So they're making a television show based loosely, I assume, because there's not much of the fucking game. Loosely based on the original video game. It's coming to the Peacock service, which I would love to see who pays for the Peacock streaming service. What do you think is less paid for, Apple TV or Peacock? I'm going Peacock because Apple TV
has some fucking slam dunks on it, boys. For real.
What's
Hey, you're
Peacock
making me
got
want
on it?
sub, honestly.
I just got to give you guys the login info. But the thing is, I don't know what my login info is for it. So I have to figure out what my login info for the TV
Every time I
service
give
is.
mine out, I have to make sure my password isn't embarrassing because sometimes it's like dick farts, suck my own dick sometimes 9, and can't like give that to my mom. That'd be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. I like that you have dicks in your password twice. That's what really sets it apart. Dick farts, suck my own dick 9. That could be the episode title.
Oh no!
A lot of contenders tonight.
Yeah, there are. All right, so I don't. Whatever. Fucking, there's a show.
Do you mind?
Yes, I don't mind.
It's basically American Ninja Warrior, right? Like it's just oops,
Yes.
don't fall in, and this is one of the few times where like a tired aging video game franchise would have been better appropriated to a movie. Like when I saw the television, be like a little Pixar style animated movie about like he has to get home and he's like I would have rather watched an hour and a half of Frogger like meeting up with other animals in the forest to get back to his pond than watch a single solitary minute. I made it 30 seconds into this trailer before I wanted to kill myself. It was terrible.
Surprise, you and Damon Wayne Jr. too. Both of you wanted to kill yourself.
Yeah, like
he was having such a terrible time.
I made it 35 seconds in this trailer and I paused it. And I think I'm going to send it to you guys. Like, are the Wayans brothers okay? Like, how bad do they need money? Like, I'll go see another scary movie. I'll do it. I'll take one for the team. Just please stop.
You know, it makes me sad. Like his character on like New Girl Coach is really funny too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, come on, dude, you're better than this.
He was fantastic in Let's Be Cops. He was fucking incredible.
You should absolutely have "Oops, don't fall in" on your soundboard when you're streaming.
Oops,
I was just
fall
gonna
in.
ask why where the Southern twang came from when you did. That's what got me.
It made it though. It just elevated it to the next plane.
Thank you.
Oops, don't fall in.
What these goofy shows, like they're all trying to do like an MXC thing, but they just don't have the hilarious commentary that MXC had. Like who was the Guy Ledouche? It's just not. When you have a show called Frogger and one of the hosts says, "Are you frogging kidding me?" It's just like there's no reason
to live.
Yeah, there's no reason to keep. There's no reason to keep trying to have a civilized society. We lost it right there.
Yeah.
Like we just need to start lopping heads off in a shop, right, and like staple gunning them to the roof of a go-kart and just tearing ass around the parking lot because there is no law. We are in the road warrior end of days right now, boys. So again, find long luscious locks of hair, lop off their heads at a Walmart, hypothetically, and then and then you zip tie them to the roof of your go-kart and you tear ass through the suburbs like a warlord, just pillaging and burning everything in sight.
It's not a bad plan.
Yeah. What else can you do? You know?
I mean, really. With that, that's got to be the end of the conversation about Frogger. I don't give a single shit about Frogger, and that just encapsulated it so well.
Anything else to add?
Nope, we're good. Oops, don't fall in. All right, so I'm gonna show real quick because I'm very excited to get to at least one of our two topics today. CynicalNerd.com. Facebook.com/TheCynicalNerd, @TheCynicalNerd on Twitter, hashtag #FuckTCN if we mess something up like Derek got himself earlier. Also hashtag AskTCN. We get so few emails that I didn't even check it this week, so let me just check it just in case one of you assholes finally emailed us. And you know what? Scott doesn't even like it when I bring it up because we're so sad that we don't get emails from you guys, so I'm not even gonna mention it next week.
You guys are beating Scott up. It's really, you're bringing him down. Just so you know, every time you type out an email and then you get nervous and you don't hit send, because I know that's what it is. You break Scott's
we get
heart.
it.
Yeah,
we get it. And there's no email.
I'm offended when you guys when Chris brings up that we don't have emails, because it's like that girl that you didn't like in high school who like went out of her way to tell you like I would never date you. You're like, I didn't fucking ask you. You know what I mean? Like I didn't fucking ask you.
I didn't even want to know that. I couldn't do anything with that info before, and I can't now.
Yeah. We've all heard about the rampant butt stuff you do, which, I'll be honest, had me a little curious. But I'm good. I'm good without being the sixth man. It's okay. I don't even have a conductor hat.
All right, moving into our two topics. Which would you guys like to tackle first? What do you want to end on? You want to end on the what if, the bashing something on the way out the door, or do you want to get that out of the way and then talk about Green Knight?
Let's do what if first, right?
I'm into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if episode 2 was basically what if T'Challa became Star-Lord? That's the whole premise of the episode. However, they do a pretty big time jump in this episode, from what I can gather, because he's already gone through the motions. The spoiler alerts abound just out of the gate, but if you care about that stuff for this, Thanos is like part of the crew. He like convinced him not to do the snap. So we're like, he's gone through the whole thing. And now we're at this weird part of his career where he like wants to go back and see his parents. And I don't know, they go through a whole bunch of shit in this episode. A lot actually happens. I actually like this episode way more than the first one. I'm not saying it was fantastic or anything. I liked it a lot more. I started the episode annoyed. And I messaged Scott about it, and here's the really small thing that was annoying me, was that he still had his Wakandan accent as an adult, having spent his entire adult life in space nowhere near Earth, and I was like, there's no fucking way he would still talk like that. But it's okay. I get it. To really, it's animation, you're really letting the audience know this is the same character. Whatever, I got over it. I don't know, it still had ways of finding heart in a swapped universe. I just liked it more. I thought the Thanos thing was interesting. I should have saw it coming. I didn't. I thought it was cool he was on the team. I also thought the recurring joke of him telling everybody how efficient it was kind of funny. It got me. Sorry. He was telling somebody at the bar. He's like, but it was really efficient. Because they literally made the argument.
Like, everyone's just like, it just sounds like genocide. Like Taserface was back in it.
Yeah. They made the argument against Thanos that everybody else made when the movie came out, which was, why didn't you just help people with the stones instead of being a cunt? I thought that was a modicum more clever than I expected. And with that, I have expounded all my views on the topic. And who wants to go next? You. I'm going to let Scott go. How about that?
I feel like Derek has the most hate, so I want him to wrap it up for us. I absolutely loathed the first. I absolutely loathed the first episode because it stuck so closely to the original story. It felt like I was just watching just musical chairs with the same fucking characters. This one I thought did a much better job of changing it up. It was more interesting, but at the same time though, what are the fucking odds that Proxima Midnight and all these other, you know what I mean? Like, what are the odds that all of Thanos' lackeys would then go against him again?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like, what are the odds that the Collector would automatically just get his entire squad just like, yeah, well, we all know each other. We'll just work for this guy instead. We'll just take one step to the right with a new boss. That felt lazy to me. I would have rather seen maybe people we hadn't seen yet in the MCU in physical form. You know what I mean? Because think about it, you can voice cast somebody and just animate them. It's so easy. You have all these characters we haven't seen yet. You could give us an origin for somebody in one of these episodes, and then
who I thought was going to show up?
Spare us the 45-minute origin in a fucking movie later.
I thought Adam Warlock was going to show up because he was teased at the end of Guardians 2, and nothing ever happened with him. But I digress. I apologize.
It's cool. Yeah, I mean that's basically it. Like they made more of an effort to keep the story interesting and fresh, but they still just shuffled people around a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I liked the Collector going through and showing all of his collection and actively using weapons he had acquired throughout the years in this timeline. I thought that was cool. Howard the Duck was a cool touch, but for every little bit that had me like kind of smiling or nodding, for the the Easter egg, or the fanfare of it all, there was also an eye roll in there. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Show us somewhere we haven't been before. I understand the Collector's going to be in nowhere, but maybe in this new regime where he literally rules the fucking world, He doesn't have to live inside of a giant decaying head. You know it's got to stink in there. It's got to smell like shit. It's a giant decaying head full of fluid. They're literally harvesting the brain juice of a dead celestial that's been in there for hundreds of years. You tell me that doesn't stink like fucking shit? Even in the vacuum of space, it doesn't smell like straight fucking shit. Also, how are they in the vacuum of space without any kind of suit? Like, inside of his head, there's just a vacuum? Semantics, but I digress. All I'm saying is, Star-Lord literally got jettisoned out of nowhere and was gonna die because he couldn't breathe the space air, the lack of oxygen in space, and he was all frozen and all cold. But they just they crawl inside of its fucking ear hole like some kind of like fucking earwig, and all of a sudden there's oxygen and it's pressure stabilized. And fuck this, it's stupid. That's all I got.
I could have sworn you guys told me you didn't like it. I must have been thinking of someone else. And I could have sworn you guys told me you weren't into it, which is why I
think
felt
my initial response was in horse chat, and I think I said I didn't like it already, and then my opinion altered.
So that's the only reason I had mentioned it earlier in TCN chat. Otherwise, I wouldn't have. I thought it was worse in every conceivable way, even than the first episode. I thought it was so bad. Like when they're running through the beginning where it's like, oh, T'Challa as Star-Lord just fixed everything in the whole fucking conceivable, perceivable universe and everything's cool. And it's just like they explain away Thanos like, sometimes a good argument's better than a strong weapon or whatever the fuck he says. It's like, couldn't he just have done that then in the Avengers? Did he not have like the ability to reason and debate with people in that movie? Like, why? I just didn't get that. It was so corny to me. And
That's a pretty great point.
It's just a fan service machine to me. It's just like none of it makes any sense. Like I've never at any point I think the Collector was first introduced in, was it Infinity War?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right, yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy. At no point did he cross me as like a threatening figure that could become like a mob boss of the universe or something. So the fact that Thanos just gets talked down from the ledge, which again just pissed me off, and the Collector takes his space was like, okay, that's dumb. It just was like one corny thing after the next. He's like, I also fixed this from the original timeline, and that too, and that. Turns out I'm just kind of the best. The opening scene with the guy, he's like, oh, classic Star-Lord, like 9 times throughout the fucking episode. Dude, like, we get it. Oh my God. And then even like Nebula, like in the beginning, she's like, he's lucky I'm calling him big guy. And by the end of the 25-minute episode, she's like, Dad. I'm like, this is so terrible, dude. This is worse than like a Flintstones episode. I'd rather watch all of the Flintstones for all of time on repeat than ever have to fucking endure through this episode ever again. It was terrible. And it's a shame because the best part of this episode was the ode to Chadwick Boseman at the end. That got me like a little like boom. I was like, oh, okay. I figured they'd do some like in memory of, but though I forget the exact way it was worded and I don't want to ruin it, but it was very, very, and the music that they had at the end was very bittersweet when they did the in memoriam form. So that was the only part of this episode that was good. And it sucks. This is the last thing he ever did. Because I hated it. I thought it was like really, really embarrassing. And that's really all I have to say about it.
I just pictured like I just had a picture like in my head of like somebody like Derek's just on his way out to his car after work and somebody just chloroforms him and he wakes up strapped to a chair like he's in a Saw movie and like it's just an endless loop of the Flintstones episodes and
in my head I'm just like, thank God it's not episode 2 of What If.
They're like feeding you intravenously, like there's a tube. Like you just, you're going potty in a bag and they're just taking it off and changing them off for you. Like you don't have to move ever again. All your bodily functions, they even bought you an auto blow A1 and it sucks you off.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it sucks you off, but only like once or twice a week so you can get them big cummies out.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's it's essentially like you're living in the Matrix. Fed intravenously.
God damn it.
Living in your own poo.
Right.
Oh no.
Your own
Wait,
protein goop.
how did they poop? Because I didn't see Neo pull anything out of his butt. How did they poop?
I had always assumed that pink goo they were in was some kind of stasis that like kept all your bodily processes sort of on hold. That was always my. So they weren't like pissing and shit.
Well, no, they say in the movie like they liquefy the old to feed the young, which means that goop that they're in is like human effluence, and they're fucking
Right.
eating it. But
Just eating human goop.
yeah, but the thing is, like, maybe it's like absorbed through their. I don't know. It's
Who knows?
it's
That's
future
a good question.
Yeah, we should ask the Wachowski sisters.
We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to see The Matrix 4 to find out, I guess.
Yeah.
So just imagine like that pink goo, but like someone makes a BM in it, and there's just a turd floating in the pink goo.
What? Yeah, they fucking when he pops up like this, there's just like a lifetime's worth of shit just like also floating up there with him.
Yeah, and then you're like,
He takes his first gasp of like real air, and like poop just goes into his mouth.
Have you ever been to like a water park and someone pooped in the wave pool? Because like that's the funniest thing. Like they have to shut it down all day, but like you hear people talking about it all day about like how it almost touched them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, everyone's got the same story. I saw
Don't fall in. Derek, it's been quite a while since you've gone on a rant like that, and I gotta say, I missed it. And you made some pretty good points. Things I hadn't thought of. Things like just everything was magically delicious. Like
yeah, you're right. It
Lucky
sucks.
Charms.
I was trying to be positive.
Yeah, you're right. We were all trying to be a good light.
Oh,
You know,
wait. And the last thing was like he's in the collector's cell or whatever, and she's like, he's keeping his escape plan close to his chest, and he just knew that his Wakandan pendant just was an automatic breaky break for the collectors. Like, I don't know. That's just why.
Shut up.
Also, she calls him Cha Cha, which made me want to go
Cha Cha.
I hated that.
diarrhea.
That was bad.
Cha Cha.
Fuck. Okay, I really want to talk about this last thing, so let's talk about this last thing.
Let's do it.
The Green Knight came out a couple of weeks ago, and it came out to streaming services last Thursday. We all finally got to watch it. I want Derek to, I think, to start, because I think it's a good dichotomy going from him just ranting about how much he hated something to, guys, spoiler alert, I'm pretty sure he loved it.
I haven't let on how I felt about it.
You're right, you haven't. I loved it. I'll just off the cuff. I thought it was really good. I haven't sat down.
Way to kill the suspense, Chris.
I'm sorry. There's no suspense with me. I'm the eternal optimist. Now, you, on the other hand, I have no idea.
That's the true mystery. Yeah, I have my theories.
Scooth is the true mystery, as he often is.
Yes.
Both the Raven. All right. The Green Knight. Plat, plat, plat. Dev Patel stars in this adaptation of the Arthurian legend of old, based on the chivalric romance, prose style, whatever. I know way too much about it because I watched a bunch of YouTube videos after the movie was over. Derek, how did you feel about the Green Knight?
I'm going to try to not ramble for 45 minutes because I can't talk about this movie for that long. I'm going to say one thing first. I feel like this movie was misrepresented in its trailer. I feel like
I would agree with that.
The trailer made it seem like a much more modern type fantasy epic type thing, and it was a much more in a classic style. I don't know if you guys watched like the Excalibur movie that was made in like the 80s, or if you just like the old any of the old Arthurian movies when you were kids or anything, but it was much more akin to those than it was to like
A Knight's Tale.
A Knight's Tale. That being said, I thought it was awesome. I was pleasantly surprised by the fact that it was at first I was like, is this going to be a boring slow burn movie? It was slow burn, but I actually really liked it. I actually stayed up all fucking night reading about it because I was so entranced by it. First of all, let me just say this. This is the first thing that has to be said about this movie. This movie is an actual masterpiece of cinematography. They're going to be talking about this movie like 50 years from now in film studies classes. You could have like a bot that just randomly selects any frame from the movie at any point, and whatever you get would look like a poster for the movie. Every single shot is so calculated and beautiful and vibrant and like wide lens, like tracking shots. Dude, it was fucking phenomenal cinematography. That being said, in the it's interesting that this is a story written in the 1300s about the 600s. So basically those stories aren't really, and the lessons in them aren't really meant to make a whole lot of sense to us in today.
And so at the risk of sounding super fucking corny, it's kind of like looking into the past and seeing like kind of what values people in this case, the 1300s, would read in their stories and go, oh yeah, that's a quality that I want to see in a hero, or something I don't want to see in a villain. I think that the theme of this movie was chivalry, and how, again, spoiler alert coming, and how Garwin, which threw me off that's how that was pronounced, did not achieve it. And how ultimately the ironic thing was him accepting that he was not chivalrous was the most chivalrous thing that he did. His vision in the end of him running away from the Green Knight and having a kid and basically being a shitty fucking king and a shitty dad and a shitty everything to everyone. And then it just flashed back to him saying, oh, actually, and he takes off the invincibility sash and he says, now I'm ready. We can assume that he got murked since the Green Knight said, off with your head then. I thought that was a very, very atypical way to end the movie. It was also interesting that the protagonist, which, you know, we often conflate with the term good guy, was not the good guy. He was kind of a piece of shit. Every test that he had on his way to the end of his quest, he failed. Showed that he was not.
God damn it.
Well, that's all I'll say on it. But the other interesting aspect of it is that the Green Knight, who's the antagonist, is actually not necessarily the good guy, but he's like the teacher. He's the wise one. So I thought that was cool, that the guy that is sort of, you know, usually the person you have in that place is someone who wants to tear things down. It actually seems like he's teaching a lesson about how to be brave and how to be chivalrous. I just thought that this movie really kind of flipped things around on its head. I thought that it was beautiful. I thought that the score was weird. I would have done some things a little different, but it was just different enough that it did kind of drag me along. And again, I'll just keep rambling, so I'll just stop there. Those are kind of my first thoughts. I just thought that it was done in such an unexpected way, and roles were sort of like maintained in the way they should be, but also done in completely new ways, in a way I've never seen in a film before. I see why this movie got like a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, and then once the audience score came out, I see why it dropped down to 55% or whatever it sits at now, because it was misrepresented in its trailers for sure. And the classical telling of fantasy stories doesn't jive with modern day fantasy storytelling. But that to me was a bold artistic move to say, well, no, I'm going to modernize it as much as I can while still keeping the tone of stories that were written in that era. I thought it was like a 9.5 out of 10. I thought it was excellent.
Word. I will save my thoughts for. God, how'd you feel about the Green Knight?
I have mixed feelings about it, to be honest. I thought like I can't agree with you more about the cinematography. There's so many shots of that movie that I just can close my eyes and see perfectly right now. Like I must have rewound certain parts of it like 3 or 4 times just to watch. Like
me too, yeah.
The scene sort of early on, about maybe 45 minutes in the movie, where he's accosted by bandits and he's left tied up, and they do this long pan out shot.
Oh, that 360 pan.
Yeah. And they start by zooming in on a skeleton tied up exactly where he was, the same position, everything. And for a second there, I'm like, what? Like, you know, like it gets you for a second, like, what? Is he like hallucinating? Is he like seeing a vision of what his future might be? And then it slowly pans around back and you see that he's staring at this other body of the last person they left there. That was incredible.
Yeah.
The shot where he goes outside with the spirit to fetch her head from the pond, and the whole time, dude, like the trees are like 30 foot branches are looming out. It just looks gorgeous. Like the way everything was done, man. Like I know it's not a complex shot, but just like it was beautiful, and it's one of my favorite in the movie. It does get a little weird, right? Like you said, he fails every test that's thrown at him. Which I think to some degree, yes. Like, he's shown himself not to be chivalrous many times throughout the movie. But also, like, there's that weird, like, couple.
Go ahead, say it.
There's that weird, like, you know, like, androgynous couple. Well, not androgynous, but, you know, they seem like they might be swingers. They might be in an open thing here.
Yeah.
And you know,
What's he get, Scott?
I mean, it looks like he's going to be the little verse bottom in their thruple. You know what I mean? Like it's it seems you know he gets what appears to be the saddest hand job I've ever seen. I don't know but it doesn't make much sense, right? Because he's at home just absolutely slaying. And then the second a lady in a fancy dress touches his dick, he ejects. What the fuck's going on?
I thought there was entrance there. Was there not entrance?
I
thought he was in.
I mean, if there's
that coming.
if there's entrance, it was the most uncomfortable, rigid sex I've ever seen on film. But it's hard to tell because again, 1300s, right? Like
Yeah.
in the 1300s, we only went up and down.
It just goes to show you the secret to living forever is to come on your belt and put it on. That's the.
All right,
secret.
I have to tell you one part in the end, in his vision of when he's king, when whoever it was, like he's about to fuck, and they go to grab to take the sash off. Fucking Ron goes, "The cum sash stays on."
I love
the super serious part of the movie. I was like crying, laughing. The cum sash stays on.
I loved the scene. I loved everything about his vision, to be honest. I thought like that, like I knew that wasn't the end. You know what I mean? But I feel like I loved everything about it. Like I loved him, like visual, like him just going through like and questioning who am I if the I failed everything along the way here. Who am I if I live alive for the rest of my life? You know, like how is that gonna you know snowball? You know, like what kind of avalanche is that gonna start? And I thought it was really cool that in the end of his vision, he takes the sash off and his head just falls off. So you know, as if to say like, as if to say you were dead the moment you've
been dead the whole time. Yeah.
Like,
I thought that was great.
But also, I don't think knowing like I went and read up on the original like Arthurian tale. Is that what you would call it?
Yeah.
And at the end of the original story, apparently, because he is brave, in the end, the Green Knight strikes him on the neck, but very lightly, and he lives in the original tale. But after watching this, I kind of hope he fucking died, though, right? He was just...
I feel like it's the most, like... I feel like that would be the most poetically satisfying thing, because the fox even says to him, any man would rather live in shame than die by the Green Knight's hand, or whatever it is he says. And then he has the vision of him living in shame. Yeah. And you're just like, even as a viewer, you're like, you feel dirty. You're like, fuck this guy, dude. And like the time
leaving the money on the bed was the fucking worst part. Like taking
God,
taking the
placenta.
son.
Yeah, that was the fucking worst, dude. Well, and like exactly. And so in that moment where he says, hang on, and he takes the sash off. And he goes, now I'm ready, is the most sure and brave he looks throughout the whole thing. So to like accept his death rather than live in shame was just like, I thought that was fucking awesome. So if he just like lived in the end, that would suck. Like, I'm just kidding with you. Get out of here, you little scamp. Get home.
Hey, goof.
So it's funny how people interpret the ending differently. And I remember watching a video on it afterwards. I'm glad. The one thing I'm very happy about is this movie had all three of us go out and look this original tale up afterwards and dive into it a little bit. And it's funny how I remember watching this one video that was going through the original tale versus the movie and all this stuff. And they were like, oh, and the ending is open-ended. And to me, I was like, what are you talking about? Because as the eternal optimist, the ending was very clear to me. And now I see that it's very not clear to everyone because you guys had different interpretations. I saw there were basically like three. They were like, oh, well, I don't know, whatever. But one of them was that he got murked at the end. I thought he didn't. Mm-hmm. I thought he got the Derek hates it ending. I thought it was he saw the man he was going to be. In that moment, he became the man the whole reason he was on the journey to become a chivalrous, a noble, a good person. Yeah. He failed at all those tasks. He became better. And he saw that, and because he took the sash off and he had that realization it was going to die, the Green Knight, the off with the head thing felt like a joke to me, like a nudge. And I know you're like, the way you put it right just then, where you're like, get out of here, you little scamp. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that is kind of silly. But that's how I took it the first time I watched it. I was like, oh, so he passed the test, which was just accept your fate like a fucking man because this is what you signed up for. So take it. You know what I mean? And then he was going to do it. Fucking Scott. And then he was going to do it. And he was like, you know what? You've learned the lesson that I wanted to teach you, and therefore, you're done.
But the whole point is a chivalrous man wouldn't have taken a shot at someone who wasn't defending themselves. So like from the set, he proved himself to be a bad person by taking a free shot, and like a chivalrous man would have taken his blade and maybe lightly scratched the cheek to play the game.
Yeah,
but he was so desperate to prove himself as this, like to prove that he was as big and brave as all the other knights around him, that he stepped up and did something that was really just by standards then or now, it's just morally unjust.
Yeah, I broke the rubber band to hurt.
And speaking of the him wanting to prove himself, I thought the fucking scene parallel between the beginning and the end, when he collapses drunk in the whorehouse and it gets real close and he just goes, I'm not ready. Like it's clearly he's talking about, I'm not ready to like be a man or be a knight or be on the round table or whatever it is. And then of course the last words he says in the movie are, I'm ready. So I just thought that was a fucking awesome way to just like tie the entire thing together. Dude, I won't lie, like there were some scenes that I was like, all right, first of all, not having subtitles, holy shit, everybody's accent is so heavy and the dialogue is so
I had
low.
to put subtitles on, bro. I had to.
Mine weren't working, so we had the TV all the way up. Like it was ridiculous.
I did it without subtitles.
But there were some scenes I was like, oh, all right, let's get to the next fucking scene, man. Like it definitely dragged at parts. But the last, I really can't think of anything else we haven't covered here, but the last thing I'll say is is everything okay? The last thing I'll say is the scene with the giants where they were singing was one of the most like weird, hauntingly beautiful scenes I've ever seen. It was fucking awesome.
It was a weird thing. No, I wasn't done yet. Thanks, both of you fuckfaces.
Oh, sorry.
Well, no, I 100% agreed with Scott when he was not chivalrous in the beginning, but to me, it was almost like, and this is why I thought this. His mother is the person who summoned the Green Knight. In my opinion, she was going, my son is a dickhead. He's not a knight. He's not ready to be king. This is his test. This is what's going to make him into that man. So I did have the optimistic ending where he was now the man he was supposed to be, having failed all those tests for nobility, generosity, friendship, or whatever all the tests of a knight are in those days. And then he was, basically free to fucking go.
I feel like there's got to be some contention on that, though, because I feel like when the bandits thing, like, he literally doubled back and gave the kid a coin. And you can make the argument that the kid, because he initially said his thanks was enough, that he was being condescending to someone who tried to help him, but it was a trap all along, right? So like that to me isn't so much a failed test as is like he's a bad judge of character, maybe, which you could say maybe is a failure. The ghost, whose name I cannot remember, I will never remember. I'm sorry.
Winifred.
When he first is about to dive in to get her head, he asks her what she's going to give him for it. And
why would you ever ask me that? Yeah, that was
failure.
So good.
Yeah. And then ultimately he ends up just doing it for funsies, right? Just hope I don't fall in. To me that seemed like somewhat of a redemption. Like he misstepped, realized it when she said that, and then did the right thing. So it seemed to me like he was trying. He was actively, and then like again though, like I wouldn't necessarily blame him for the weird couple that wanted to both wanted to bang him. Right, the guys. It's like that scene from Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. Like, feel free to make yourself at home, have a sandwich, fuck my wife. And he's like, did he just say? You know what I mean? Like, it's just
that's gonna be part of the thumbnail. We have to figure that out.
It's just,
oh god.
It's we gotta just gotta get that guy. You just gotta get that guy from fucking White Harold and Kumar and dress him up.
Photoshop him onto
Photoshop. No, but like
that sandwich, fuck my wife.
Yeah, but that it gave me those vibes. Like he's like, I will bring you whatever.
No, it did.
He's like, I will bring you whatever I get out here, but whatever you get in here, you must give me. He's talking about tearing that little bussy up, bro. You better watch out.
Well,
you better be careful.
He was talking about the sash, but yeah, okay. Also tearing that little bussy up.
Wait,
I was really hoping. I knew it wouldn't happen, but when he peeled back and he grabbed his arm like this, I just wanted to be like, I fucked your wife, and then just walk away. I'm like, it doesn't match the tone of the movie at all, but man, it would make me laugh.
In the original story, Gawain is a bisexual man, like legitimately, and like that part with the couple apparently is way more. There's way more going on there than we see in the movie.
I'm gonna have to do some reading later.
What I had read is that he basically on day one he kisses her once, and so the guy demands a kiss. Mm-hmm. On day one, on day two, twice. So same thing. And then on day 3, he kisses her 3 times and she gives him the sash. And so he kisses the guy on the way out, but doesn't give him the sash. and that's basically why he failed his whole task. Is that he lied to the guy. He didn't give him. He only kissed him 3 times. 3 little kissies. No cum sash.
No cum. No sad hands.
Well, I mean, technically, you have to give him a really, really unsatisfying. Well, apparently, a very satisfying HJ or a real stiff ride. You know. Hence.
I mean, I just say like the fact that we're all having these conversations is kind of proof of like the interpretive nature of the movie.
Yeah.
I said a little bit at the beginning. I've really enjoyed it. I didn't expect it to be the kind of slow burn that it was, but I was so ready to just take this movie in with whatever form it came in. I knew Dev Patel, I know, is a great actor.
All right. Yeah. Relax, Todd Howard.
I was ready to plat this fucking movie onto every streaming service that's ever existed. All right. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a beautiful, we were saying the same things at this point, but I probably give it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was like you said, I thought it's the kind of movie that they'll be showing to film classes in 10 years and going, this shit right here, this is what you should be aspiring to. Like this, look at these shots. I don't have anything else.
It's definitely not my kind of movie for sure, but
it's not the thing I'm going to put on a rainy Saturday.
Well, the thing is, it literally is what you said though. Like the trailers were misleading. I was expecting it to be a little bit more modernized than it was, but you can't fault it. The cinematography is fantastic. The music was incredible. Like the color palettes in this movie, like every single
the color palettes were so amazing. Oh my god.
Take note, Cowboy Bebop. Here's how you do a wide, beautiful spectrum. Here's how you accentuate with bright colors without making it look like a fucking Pittman Broad Street play. It's a really, really obscure reference. I'm sorry, but just picture people who can't afford an actual costume department just wearing their grandmother's dresses to reenact A Streetcar Named Desire. That's all I got for you.
All right, boys, it's gonna wrap her up. We're doing pretty good. We're a little over our target, but not by much. And I will completely say that's because The Green Knight was a fantastic film. Wait, what's happening?
Have you guys checked the horse chat at all?
No, I don't even have my phone on me.
Peeb has a meme in there that's just A1.
I gotta check this.
Yeah.
A1 Peeb meme. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's gonna wrap her up for this week, episode 39. We'll figure out a title. We'll do it. We got a lot of contenders tonight. I already know what the thumbnail is going to be. We figured that bad boy out. Derek, where can everybody find you at on the tubes?
They can find me on Twitter and Twitch as long as we're playing It Takes Two at Dr. Gloom MD. That's DRGLOOMMD.
Oh, I wanted to talk about that, but I'm going to save it for when we beat it because it's a joy. Scott, how about you? Where can everybody find you at?
You can find me in Dr. Gloom and TCN Play streams, watching them play It Takes Two. You can also find me, at the couch in my therapist's office, working through the tragedy and the trauma of watching you guys murder a stuffed elephant. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
Hopefully you guys can find me live one day this week playing Hunt with the Bullies at
Twitch, we're gonna do it.
Twitch.tv/Swerelf. I won't be around Saturday, guys, but I can do Tuesday or Thursday.
I can do either of those. Those are the nights I usually stream, so either is fine with me.
Thursday is my doable day of those two.
Or Thursday, as it was originally called.
Yes.
All right, my name's Chris. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at TCN Plays. Thanks for hanging out. This has been episode 39, and we'll see you guys next week.
The Todd Howard Hog Slob Extravaganza.
All you can eat.